we back. We back in the building. Back in the building.
It's time. It's time. How's
Hey,
everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's postseason. This is post Super Bowl. It's our season. We're ready.
oh,
We're ready.
and you know what's funny? I don't even know with this weather. Think about the weather. It's summer one moment, then it goes right to the winter.
I
I
can't
think
think.
it's our type of celebration during this time of the year because this is our time of the year, the off season, and the
Absolutely.
optimism is high. The optimism is high and rising.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas. And who am I here with?
It's your man Mazo. It's all about Big Blue.
Yes,
And
it
we
is.
here
Yes,
today.
it
We
is.
here today. And Clay, I think the last time, and like in our pre-production, and we talked about this, but I know you are totally totally against having a running back, Jeremiah Love at 5.
Oh my goodness.
I
That
I,
would be a nightmare.
I know you are totally against that,
Totally again.
but it looks like Coach Harbaugh looks like he's making moves to make that happen.
I think it's smoke. I think it's smoke. I think he's trying to make somebody who really wants that guy make us a big offer to trade up for him. I hope I'm wrong about his interest at all. I don't even want him to be thinking about running back. But if he has thoughts about running back, I gotta hope that he's planting the seeds in like Kansas City. Well, they just signed Kenneth Walker, so maybe not Kansas City. Maybe New Orleans at number 8, maybe
I like
Cincinnati at number 10.
ah
Try to get somebody to say, I'm gonna give you a haul because I see you're thinking about taking him. I want him.
yeah, and he is known for trading back. He's known for that.
I listen, we had the fifth best running game in football. We had the fifth most rushing yards, let me put it that way, in football last year. And the 32nd best, also known as the worst, run stopping defense in football. That's the end of the conversation. If you are fifth best out of 32 in one thing and 32nd best out of 32 in the other thing, you fix the thing that you're 32nd best at. Period.
You
How
would
much
think
better than fifth best can we be? We're only 4 spots higher. That's like the argument I was telling you when I argue with people about Usain Bolt and Bob Hayes. I say Bob Hayes was faster. They said, "Well, Usain Bolt's time was faster." I said, "Yeah, because Usain Bolt was losing races sometimes, and so he had to run faster to win the ones that against the guys who had already beat him." Bob Hayes ain't lose no races. How many seconds faster than first do I have to run? If I broke the tape, that was fast enough. I don't need to be faster than first place. So I don't care what the watch said. He won all the time. That's fast enough.
but Clay, Jeremiah Love though. Think
So
about think
Jeremiah
about
Love looks
think
like
about
a
it.
very good player,
Yes.
but he's reliant on an offensive line and a defense that keeps the team in the game so they can keep running the ball.
Keep running the ball. Yeah.
You can't run the ball 8 minutes left in the game, you're down 3 touchdowns, right?
That's true. That's true.
So if we
And I
can't
think
stop nobody, we won't be running nearly as much.
I have that moment when I won them, and then then I think I asked you one time before, what happens to Tyrone Tracy then? You know, you know, we just can't. It was funny. Scatterboo is looks like he's going to be a really good running back.
Assuming he comes back fully healthy, yes, I
Right,
think so.
right.
I
That's
think so.
if we do need. I'm looking at Tracy being really the guy.
I think I don't have. Do you remember when the Miami Dolphins
I
were
was
so
going to say
good
that
back in the
with
70s?
Mercury Morris. Yeah, I was going
Mercury
to mention
Morris,
that.
Jim Kick, Larry Zonka. It was a three-headed monster there. When we had Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? When we had Brandon Jacobs, Derek Ward, and Ahmad Bradshaw, nobody was saying, "Well, we can't win with three good running backs." Of course you can. It can be running back by committee. We don't have to have. Now, when we had Saquon, we didn't need committee, right? But
No,
but
no,
we
no.
still needed blocking.
Right. Okay.
Right now, we're in a position where we can't stop anybody. Our offensive line was better than it has been in many years, but still not dominant. Like that wasn't a great offensive line. and we're not even sure we're going to have the two guards back.
So
So
I
I can no
okay,
defense.
I think we're in agreement with this. If we're looking at the first guy we want is Sonny Styles, if he's
Absolutely.
available. Second would be Caleb Downs.
Probably Caleb down second, yes.
So here's the question: if those two are off they get chosen, would you then look to trade down? And would you pick an offensive lineman if they drop down? Would you pick an offensive lineman because you
I'd
trade
pick
down? You
offensive
probably
lineman before running back. There is no circumstance under which I would take a running back with our first pick. There is no circumstance unless a 22-year-old Jim Brown is coming back on the board. And I don't foresee that coming. So
okay,
if it's
okay,
not Jim Brown, and I'm talking about 22-year-old Jim Brown, not one that just died last year. If it's not 22-year-old Jim Brown, I don't want a running back.
okay, okay. All
But
right.
would I trade down? Yeah, I trade. I mean, I wouldn't trade down to 25.
No, 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 no.
I would trade down probably not further than 8 or 10, ideally, or 12 or 13 if they really blew me out the water. Like I'll give you a first this year, first next year, first year after that, and a starting defensive tackle. But nobody's going to do that.
No, 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 no.
Although I did do a mock draft with the Rams, who I'm pretty sure have the 13th pick, where I got Poona Ford, who is their run stuffing nose tackle, and their first and their second, if I remember correctly. And I think I did I'll give you my third round pick next year for your second round pick next year. So I wound up getting what I considered a haul. Poona Ford
Okay,
already
okay.
helps Dexter Lawrence. And then the first, the second, and next year. So yeah, it would take something like that for me to drop even back to 13.
All right. What I'm thinking about then right now is okay. You've been talking about this defense right now, and I know a you do crazy mocks,
All the
but
time.
I know you did a whole thing of like what our team like now would look like. Could you bring that up? You bring
It's
that up
funny you should
because
mention it. I would be happy to bring that up.
yeah, I want you to bring
So
them because I want to talk about. I really want to see who you got there because we can start pointing out because we're gonna do so for one of our next episodes. We're gonna be doing a PFF or a what's the
Pro
other
Football Sports Network
yeah,
or
we'll do one of those mock drafts. I want to see. Oh, okay.
so here's what I am projecting as what our defense might look like week one. And you'll see the things that are in these blue colors are players that are not on the roster yet. Christian Wilkins. I'm really hoping we sign Christian Wilkins. I'm expecting to hear that any minute now that we've signed Christian Wilkins.
What would it really take in your estimation to get Christian
I
Wilkins?
think again, he's been out for a whole year. He's had all kinds of issues. $2 or $3 million guaranteed, I think would do it. Now, it might require another 2 or 3 million in incentives. If you play, 750 snaps, you get a half a million. If you get, 8 sacks, you get a half a million. So whatever, some things that make it worth his while to even sign with us. But what he's really doing is trying to take 1 year to reestablish himself in the NFL as that guy that we thought he used to be.
Right.
And then his next contract, he might get 20 something million again. Because he
Okay.
was in the 20s.
So you think
And
it's
now you would
possible
get,
that we can get
I
him though?
think 2 or 3 million guaranteed with another 2 or 3 million in incentives would do it for 1 year. And we have that.
Oh, he would. That would be yeah. Then that would change some of our draft
That would change a
thought.
lot. That would change a lot. But I did say we should draft another interior defensive lineman. And of
Okay.
course,
Okay.
I'm hoping that we draft Sonny Styles at 5. And I'm hoping we actually draft 2 more interior defensive linemen. And hopefully we draft either a cornerback or a free safety. I just feel like as much as this first column B, actually A is the first column. That's the positions. Column B is what I consider the starters. And then the second string, and then the third string, and then here's the practice squad guys. So I'm thinking Burns and Thibodeaux will probably still be considered the starters because Thibodeau's a better run stopping edge rusher than Abdul Carter is right now. Right now. Maybe by mid-season or whatever, Abdul Carter kind of figures that out and becomes as good a run stuffer as Kayvon is. But right now, we want it to be 2nd and 8.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
used to try to run the ball on us in a 2nd and 8.
Yeah. I can do
And
that.
I want 3 interior defensive linemen. Dex, whoever draft pick is in Christian Wilkins, because that makes it second and eight, right? If that's the interior defensive line, Jim Burt was surrounded by, Keith Hamilton and Leonard Marshall.
Oh,
On the outside, they had, Banks and Taylor. So, and then behind them, they had Harry Carson and, Gary Reason. So running against us was not a thing. That was not a thing.
that was not a thing at all. Man,
So
love
that's
it,
what I'm
Reese.
hoping we do. And then, Tremaine Edmonds and Sonny Styles, if they're the inside linebackers, right? If they're the Carson and Reasons, and they're very athletic, I really like that defense.
You know what?
We did away with worse backs.
let me say this here. Did you hear? Like I heard something today. It was one of the I wish I could remember which one of the shows I was watching, but one podcaster said that he thinks the Giants should, if he's available, if Sonny Styles is available, it will be redundant to get
Because of
him
Tremaine Edmonds,
with Edmonds, and that would not be a good move by the Giants. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me?
he's fired. He's
You
fired.
can't have too many great players playing.
First of all, and second of all, we have two inside linebackers. So what I think he's trying to say is that Micah McFadden is good enough to be the second inside linebacker. And I'm like, that's no, Sonny Styles will be much better than Micah McFadden. So will Tremaine Edmonds. So Micah McFadden will be very good quality depth. I'm
Right.
about depth. I don't think anybody on defense should have to play all 65 snaps, 60, 65 snaps a game. Give everybody a few snaps off so that they're still strong at the end of the
Right.
game.
Right.
So if Micah gets 8 or 10 snaps for Tremaine Edmonds and 8 or 10 snaps for Sonny Styles, so they're both still fresh at the end, that's great because he's good. He's just not as good as them. But this would be my starting line. I think Greg Newsome is going to win out. He's going to win that outside cornerback CB2 job. I think Jason Pinnock is going to beat out Tyler Nubin at one safety spot opposite Javon Holland.
Please.
I think our Darius Washington is going to beat out Drew Phillips for the slot cornerback position.
True.
Even though I like Drew Phillips, he's a very good tackler. He's good in run support. He's just not that good in coverage. Our Darius Washington is better in coverage. So
Question for you.
that's what I see as our starters with Abdul Carter, Roy Robertson Harris, Darius Alexander, Micah, Nick Jones. That's some nice quality depth. If you have Drew Phillips, Tyler Nubin, Micah McFadden, Darius Alexander, Roy Robertson Harris, and Abdul Carter coming off your bench or substituting for somebody who gets injured, that isn't a huge drop off. That's how you become a good solid team because nobody's team stays healthy at all 22
No, you can't.
all
You
year.
can't. Now, could you give me some names, if you could,
Okay.
on like on these draft picks you got in there? Like who would you think?
Sure.
Because
This defensive tackle, who I'm hoping is our second round pick. I know you have other thoughts for the second round pick, but if the defensive tackle is our second round pick, the people at the top of my list are Cade McDonald. I'm pretty sure won't.
yes, that's my guy.
If somehow he falls, got to take him. But he's probably going to go in the late 20s of the first round. But Lee Hunter is an interior defensive lineman I would be happy with.
Okay.
Kristen Miller is a defensive tackle I'd be happy with from Georgia. And there's one or two other guys who I don't think I'd take it the second round, but I wouldn't mind having Xavier Harris, Chris McClellan, DeMonte Capehart. There's a couple of other big body guys. This guy, Caleb Banks, a lot of people are talking about might go late first, early second, but he's had some injury history, and that makes me nervous. So I personally wouldn't want to take him before at least the third round, and we don't have a third round pick, so that would mean probably the fourth round, and I don't see him falling that far.
Mark my words. Harbaugh, if he doesn't trade down on the pick number 5, he's trading 30. He's going to trade down 37.
I hear you. So
to get multiple picks.
I definitely can see that happening. If you trade that 37th pick so that you wind up drafting like maybe in the late 40s, early 50s, and then you add a third round pick,
right,
that probably isn't a bad idea. So, because you're right, going from 37 to 105 with no picks is going to be painful. That's going to be painful. So anyway, this is what I think, our depth chart will look like week 1. And fill in whatever names you want there and draft picks and or free agency signings or trades for that matter.
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is a decent defense. I know a year ago we were all saying when they drafted Abdul Carter, right after the draft, we're like, oh man, it's gonna be a top 5 defense. We got Abdul Carter, we got Brian Burns, we got Kayvon
Right,
Thibodeau.
right.
Didn't happen.
Scheme.
But scheme had a lot to do with it. Shane Bowen had to go, whatever. But yeah, I think that if we get a big body next to Dexter and then go to a actual 3-4 defense, we'll be fine.
That would be that if we did. Wait a minute, if you can remember, what defense did the Ravens play? Did they play a 3-4?
So I'll be honest, I haven't watched as much Ravens tape as I probably should. I'll just say that they are definitely a team that had 3 interior defensive linemen. I don't know what percentage of time they were all in the field together. And Justin Madubuike and Travis Jones. If I remember correctly, Madubuike had been injured a little bit last year, and he and Travis Jones didn't play that many games together. But that's already 2 very good interior defensive tackles, and I'm pretty sure they had a third one, although his name is escaping me. So I'm less concerned about scheme this year because I think the coaching in general is going to be better. But I'm a big fan of 3 interior defensive linemen. That would be my preference.
That would be great. That would be.
Yeah. And I'll look at by the next episode, I'll give you some more information.
Okay, yeah.
What we did last year. That'll be my homework.
Yeah, because definitely I want to know that because you see that Coach Harbaugh's bringing so much over.
Right.
I'm wondering if he would go back, if he really don't go old school, would he go back to the old 3-4? And
I would
that
love
would
it.
be, oh, come on.
I would love it. Anyway, so listen, there's a lot to talk about, and obviously we will be getting to a lot of this in future episodes, but we would love for you to grab that like button and then share and subscribe and drop us a comment. Let us know.
Please. Yeah, comment on this on Clay from Brooklyn's his spreadsheet here on this team here. What do you think about the guys he got starting, the guys we got as reserves? I know somebody right now is saying Abdul Carter is not going to be on the bench. He's going to be Thibodeau's going to be on the bench instead of him. I can tell you that right away. And if you're that person, drop it in the comments. We'll respond to you. Don't worry, we will respond to you.
Absolutely. All right, so listen, guys, holler at us when you can, but in the meantime, it's Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. And who am I here with?
It's your man Mazo. It's all about Big Blue. Hey,
yes,
guys,
sir.
Until next time, y'all, check you. Peace. Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.